Let's move, sir, to one of the more troubling subjects that I think you would agree, and all of us here in the Bahamas agrees, and that is the issue of crime. The incoming president of the Court of Appeal, at her swearing in last week, Mr. Prime Minister said that crime is unacceptable. She used the term totally unacceptable. You have used that term as well in some of your representations public. And you have made comments just in the recent Baintown disturbance, no one wishes to call it a riot according to the commissioner, that if the police needs resources...
According to the facts, notwithstanding the Nassau Guardian's editorial, there are no facts to support that there was a riot. No facts whatsoever.
I understand. and you indicated that all the police has to do is just whisper. To you, that is.
If they need additional resources, I said.
Additional resources.
Yes.
Are you satisfied? Because you, and your administration in particular, have provided substantial resources to the police. I mean, the police even accept and acknowledge that, sir. So are you satisfied that what has been provided, considering our circumstances here in the Bahamas, we are getting the return on that investment, the society of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas?
The police are doing a good job. I commend them. I'm very pleased with the job they're doing. I expect that they would have even greater success in the coming weeks and coming months, because I expect them to be more focused upon specific areas and persons who are presumed to be involved in significant criminal activity. One of our big problems in this country is drugs. Drugs is influencing many of the crimes that are being committed, most especially those related to murder. Many of them are hit killings, where people are contracted to do so, or there are turf wars between various people. Our system, to some extent, is not quite functional, whether it's the system for the police in apprehending, prosecuting, and then having the courts dispose of the cases. We have huge backlogs of cases. Notwithstanding the huge resources that have been pumped into the system, there are many things that do not connect. You know, when I got elected House of Assembly in 1977, by 1978, there were only 14 or 15 murders in the Bahamas that year. That's 34 years or so ago. Now it's 89. In 2001, the year before I left office the last time, there were only 40 murders in the Bahamas. I say only, but there were 40 murders in the Bahamas. It's double that number now, 9 years later. Much of this is to do with drugs. Much of it is to do with the same persons involved in the same crimes over and over again. We are seeking to ensure that there is greater coordination between all of the agencies that have responsibility for dealing with this matter, so we can become more effective. But at the moment, there is a degree of dysfunctionality in relation to the legal, judicial system and tackling crime.
Now, you have gone on record as to the things that you are doing. You know, we see what's happening at the Nassau Street Magistrates Courts. You see what's happening, I'll say, Bank Lane, the Ansbacher building, the appointment of other judges, the appointment now of the President of the Court of Appeal. I'm talking to Hubert Alexander Ingraham. Are you satisfied with the pace of the response? Much of it engendered by your own ability and persuasive abilities and all of that stuff to meet this dysfunction and create functionality out of it. Are you getting the people who you want to be judges, for instance? Are they responding?
But it's not, see, bear in mind, the system does not permit me to select who should be a judge.
Well, I understand that. But I mean, speaking from your vantage point, not so much you selecting the judge.
At the end of the day, I have to take and accept responsibility for the whole shebang, whether I did it or didn't do it.
Yeah, I understand.
No, I'm not satisfied that we are doing all we can, we meaning the total group. And that's why we are working so hard and are so focused upon doing some things to change the way things is happening now.
Right, sir.
For instance, I get a lot of criticism or the government gets a lot of criticism. Well, I guess if the government gets it, that means it's Hubert Ingraham. For bringing in a director of public prosecution who is Jamaican.
Yes, sir.
We are absolutely satisfied, completely satisfied, that she has the management skills, the experience, the knowledge and the know-how, together with her two deputies who are Bahamian, Gaskin and Williams, and the other support staff there, to make some substantial changes in the way these matters are managed and processed through and progressed through the system.
Yes, sir.
We are fairly satisfied that the police are locating the criminals. We are not totally satisfied the investigative work that's been done prior to the charge and therefore going before the court is done in accordance with what is required to withstand challenges from defense counsel. That too is being worked on by her and her department, etc. And so at the end of the day, we hope to be able to have 4 criminal courts in the Supreme Court operating with 4 judges at all the time, dispose of these cases. We hope to have a system where if a man is charged with murder and his case is not heard in a reasonable time and he goes before a judge who says, I'm going to release you on bail, that we discontinue the system of saying you are released on bail and everybody forget about you until somebody pick up a file one day. We hope to be able to do what the British did and say, well, fine, you are released on bail, but you ought to report back here in 60 days so I can see what progress has been made with your case, so I can decide whether I'm going to fix a trial for you, etc., etc. There are many, many, many issues in connection with the judicial and legal system and policing system that need to be fixed. It didn't happen overnight. It's taken more time than I certainly would like it to take, but I can see some light at the end of the tunnel, and we're making some progress.
May I come to the subject of the bail action?
Yes.
On the 24th of November 2010, our reporters asked you about when is the Bail Act going to be amended, because there has been some talk about the amendment, and as a matter of fact, sir, you in your 14th of April, and I say
yes,
you
we accept that. Yes.
Please, the
yes.
government of the Bahamas
Yeah.
talked about putting before Parliament an amendment to the Bail Act. So let's speak about this for a moment.
Yes.
So first of all, I want to hear it from you this afternoon. What amendments are we talking about? Because it is reported that you have said that we are going to apply the law in respect to those persons who are brought before them. People can get bail in the Bahamas. You can get bail mostly for serious offenses if your case is not tried in a reasonable period of time. And that is what the issue is right now. So what amendments do you seek, sir, or does the government seek to bring to the Bail Act? And how will those amendments, in your estimation, address the issue of crime, sir?
The government believes it can further restrict the right to bail. It believes it can define in law what a reasonable period of time is. And I believe it can have that challenged and it can withstand that challenge.
I mean, constitutional challenge.
That is right. At the moment, it appears that some judges are of the view that a reasonable period of time could be anywhere from 8 weeks to a year to what have you. We believe that a reasonable period of time ought to be between 2 and 3 years. And we believe that there's law to support that. And we intend to bring such an amendment and to have it tested so it can become the law of the land in the Bahamas. That's what I believe.
Any time frame on that, sir?
We are taking advice. We are seeking to ensure that the amendment is constructed and structured in such a way so as to minimize the opportunity for a successful challenge. So we are taking advice not only from amongst ourselves here, but from advice from others.